Confessions of a 40-something. Episode 1. My brain is a browser with 187 tabs open. Hello, and welcome to Confessions of a 40-something. I should warn you, this is less of a confession and more of a group therapy session. Except you can't talk back, which honestly, as a mum, feels like a luxury. So today's confession: life as a working mum. Now when people hear that, they picture some woman getting into her black SUV, balanced, pressed slacks, artsy top, coffee in hand, a laptop bag in the other, children skipping to the car and getting in. Reality? It's me at 6:43 a.m. reminding my kid for the third time to finish her breakfast and consider brushing her teeth. Where is your shoe? No, the other shoe. The one you were literally just wearing 5 seconds ago. All the while trying to find my other shoe and realizing I'm going to be late if I don't hurry up. You see, they say women are natural multitaskers. I disagree. I'm not multitasking. I'm just constantly interrupted. At any given moment, my brain is like a browser with 187 tabs open. One tab is work emails. Another is the reminder to book the dentist. Another is that weird subscription for chicken I keep forgetting to cancel, and now the freezer has 15 kilos sitting there in one big lump. And you know what? At least 3 tabs are playing music or some kind of video, and it's just adding to the din. The worst part? Sometimes I can't even find that tab that's making all the noise. Here's the thing though. Neuroscience actually backs me up here. The part of the brain that handles decision making and focus is called the frontal lobe. Think of it as the CEO of your brain. Smart, logical, strategic. The problem is when you're stressed, tired, or distracted by children screaming over who gets the last granola bar, that CEO basically leaves the building. What you're left with is the intern, and the intern is panicking, eating crisps and making bad decisions. Like yesterday, I was so frazzled, I sent an email to the school asking my husband to pick up the dry cleaning. Now, let me paint you a morning at my house. I wake up an hour before everyone else to get myself ready for the day. Read here peace and quiet to meditate. Then once the alarm goes off, it's a cacophony of activity, punctuated by deep existential questions. Like, Mum, do dogs dream? Meanwhile, someone is sitting in their underwear refusing to move because apparently putting on socks is a human rights violation. And my spouse, watching the chaos with a sense of calm and detachment. Where and how that comes from is one of the best kept secrets around. Then, while I'm buttering toast with one hand, replying to a Slack message with the other, I hear the dreaded words, Mom, I can't find my homework. Which, of course, translates to, I haven't started my homework, and I'm hoping you'll solve it in the next 90 seconds. At this point, my frontal lobe is not only gone, it's on a beach somewhere with a cocktail, laughing at me. But here's where the science gives us a bit of grace. When you're juggling that many demands, your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol, in small doses, is actually helpful. It keeps you alert, it makes you sharp. But too much, for too long, and your brain basically short circuits. That's why sometimes you walk into a room and you forget why you're there. It's not early onset anything, it's just the cognitive tax of being a working mum. I once put my phone in the fridge. I still don't know how. And yet, despite the chaos, there are these little moments that stop you. Like when your child, covered in toothpaste, because brushing is apparently a full body sport, looks up at you and says, Mum, will you be at my cross-country meet? And suddenly, your brain, frazzled, buzzing, overloaded, quietens down. Because you realize that's not really a question about logistics. It's about presence. It's about reassurance. It's about Am I important enough for you to show up? And neuroscience agrees with this too. When parents are consistently present, even in small, ordinary moments, it literally wires the child's brain for security and confidence. Those little connections strengthen their neural pathways like roots anchoring them to the ground. So yes, I may have forgotten to sign the permission slip. And yes, the packed lunch might sometimes be 2 packets, rice crackers, and a banana. But if I show up, that matters more. Now don't get me wrong, some days I do not feel inspiring. Some days I feel like I'm failing at everything. Work deadlines slipping, children melting down, laundry becoming a geological formation in the corner of the bedroom. I mean, I once joined a conference call from the bathroom, sitting on the edge of the tub because it was the only quiet place in the house. Of course, halfway through, my daughter barges in and yells, "Mom, I need a poo." And that was the moment I realised professional credibility is fragile. But here's a secret no one will tell you. Perfection isn't the goal. Your kids don't need a perfect mum. They need a present mum. Your colleagues don't need a flawless employee. They need a human who's real, resilient, and probably a little caffeinated. And yes, sometimes the plates fall. Sometimes the emails are late. Sometimes dinner is porridge. But love is always on time. So yes, life as a working mum is like juggling flaming torches whilst riding a unicycle on a tightrope over a pit of Lego bricks. But sometimes, just sometimes, you get to the other side and your child hugs you for no reason, or your boss says good job, or you find 5 quiet minutes with a hot cup of tea, and you realise the fire you've been juggling, it's not just stress, it's also light. So that's today's confession. Life as a working mum is messy, exhausting, hilarious, overwhelming. But it's also the greatest neuroscience experiment in resilience that you'll ever run. And if your brain feels like it has 187 tabs open, I'm right there with you. Just remember that you don't need to have them all there open. Close a few, leave a few for tomorrow, and keep the important ones front and center. This is your reminder that you're doing better than you think. The chaos doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're alive, in motion, and caring deeply about a lot of things all at once. Until next time.